Guys, if you like the content I create, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. This will help me to keep sharing interesting stories and inspire you with new stories. I really appreciate every subscriber. Thank you for your support. Once upon a time, in a distant town called St. Elmo, there lived a boy named Thomas. He was a curious and daring child who was always looking for adventure. Halloween was on the doorstep, and the boy had been preparing for this most frightening and fun holiday for a long time. He decided to visit the creepiest house in town, about which there were the most terrible rumors. So, on a dark and gloomy Halloween morning, Thomas went to the Blackwood house, which was in the most remote and darkest corner of Slaperville. There was an eerie aura emanating from this house that sent shivers down the spine of everyone who passed by. Climbing up the old wooden steps, Thomas entered the abandoned room. The smell of mold and darkness enveloped him. The young adventurer's heart hammered restlessly, but he walked on with determination. After walking down a long corridor, Thomas found himself in a huge room full of dusty books and antique furniture. But something was wrong. The furniture moved on its own, as if it had its own devilish breath. Fear gripped the boy, but he knew he had to find the answer to the ultimate question. Why was this house so cursed? Suddenly, from behind an abandoned closet, old photographs flew at him with a noise. One of them showed the Blackwood family, a family that had once lived in this house and was considered cursed. Accused of witchcraft and Satanism, members of their family vowed to return from the dead and take revenge on anyone who tried to leave their cursed house. And Thomas was faced with a choice: to save himself or to reveal the secrets of the past, breaking the curse of the Blackwood family. The adventurer decided to go all the way, despite his fear and trembling knees. Thomas began to unravel the mystery of the house, exploring every room and every antique object. But no matter what he touched, everything became even more frightening and sinister. From the darkness, whispers came to him that spoke of his fate, and that he would never be left with such terror. Surrounded by the gloomy atmosphere and soulless figures beating against the walls, Thomas walked over to the bookcase behind which the answers to all questions lurked. He found a book with black pages and large red lettering on the cover: Resurrection and Revenge. Carefully opening the book, Thomas read the strange formula that was mentioned in the legends. Summon the one who does evil, but repeat the formula in reverse and vanquish his evil. The boy realized that this was the key to unlocking the curse of the House of Blackwood. But suddenly, there was a cold wind in the air, and the ominous ghost of Percival Blackwood, the head of the family that had cursed the house, appeared before Thomas's eyes. "You are a true hero, young adventurer," the ghost hissed, "but no one can leave this house alive, and you are no exception." What followed was the boy's most terrifying ordeal. He paced back and forth, repeating every line of the formula, but the ghost would not rest. He walked from wall to wall, trying to stop Thomas as he performed the ritual. Finally, at the last moment, under the ghost's gaze, Thomas recited the last line of the formula. Fire flashed in the sinister spirit's eyes, and he disappeared forever. When the boy left the Blackwood home, gray-haired and cursed, the people of Slaperville recognized his name. Unaware of the brave hero's identity, they called him the Savior of Halloween. Before Halloween, Thomas came home all delusional, and the teachers at school awarded him with honors for his excellent grades. but he was the only one who knew the price he'd paid to wipe that damned blob of darkness from the Blackwoods' faces. On the eve of Halloween, as autumn wrapped its chilly fingers around the quiet town, and leaves fell from the trees like dry bones, two children, Emily and Tommy, were preparing for the spookiest holiday of the year. Their hearts were full of excitement and adrenaline, because Halloween always brought incredible adventures. This time, the children decided to go collecting candy at the scariest and most desolate place in town, the abandoned house of the Black Witch. Legend has it that it was once inhabited by a woman skilled in the dark arts of magic, and that she continues to haunt those in her dungeon. The evening sun painted the sky in somber hues as Emily and Tommy began their journey. Along the way, they encountered warning signs and heard rumors of incidents that had happened in this horrible place. But their obsession and thirst for adventure was stronger than fear. As the children approached the abandoned house, a sense of unease enveloped their entire world. Becoming mute, they simultaneously held out their hands to each other and headed inside. At first glance, the house seemed extinct, but with every step, Emily and Tommy heard the slumbering creak of the floors, and it filled their blood with cold. Their eyes were fixed on the top floor, where, according to legend, was the most dangerous place of all, the Black Witch's office. The brave children resolutely climbed the rickety stairs, but as the study approached, an old piece of floor creaked, and all the gloomy objects on the shelves began to move imaginatively. From the last room came a muffled shriek, and the door collapsed, the insulating strips tangled in dead silence. The children felt the cold sinking into their bones, and the atmosphere around them slowly built up to fear. Stepping over the threshold of the study, Emily and Tommy saw a stunning picture of the witch's dark world. Candles burned in every corner, casting eerie shadows on the books and potions scattered around the room. The Black Witch's icy gray gaze slid over the children, and Emily felt fear take the last of her strength. Amidst all the filth in the study, however, Tommy's gaze fell on a strange book with a blood-red cover. He couldn't resist and picked it up from the desk. Immediately, the room was filled with the Black Witch's crazed scream, and a torrent of magical energy stepped violently upon the children. The walls buckled into spiky rocks, and the floor wrapped itself in snakes and tried to strangle Emily. And then, at the very last moment, Tommy opened a book and with all his might recited a spell that gathered magic around the children. Suddenly, the study exploded with a bright light, and with it, the Black Witch disappeared, ping up. Emily and Tommy found themselves in the center of the ruined classroom, where now magic could not penetrate. A great flame of victory and relief burned in their eyes. They walked out of the house that was doomed to be renewed and sparkle again on the dreadful nights of Halloween. Since then, they had not ventured out again on such adventures, or in search of scary stories. But this night was their great challenge that they were able to overcome. And even though with dawn came the end of Halloween, they will never forget that their lives were intertwined with darkness and light, with magic and fear.